Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This one's special and we are genuinely excited to share it with you. This was a challenge I just couldn't resist, taking one of the world's most powerful drones and using it in the last place you would expect, a 20 feet by 20 feet studio. Drones are usually built for open skies, sweeping landscapes and chase shots, but we wanted to push the limits and rethink what a drone camera can really do. Ever since I got my hands on the DJI Mavic 4 Pro, I've been amazed by its camera, especially the incredible dynamic range and detail in both bright and low scenes. After reviewing some early footage, I felt this wasn't just a drone, it was a full-fledged cinema tool, and that inspired us to think differently. So we set out on a challenge to shoot the newly wrapped BMW GS 1300 using only the drone, inside a tight studio, no external cameras, no gimbals, no sliders, just the Mavic 4 Pro, handheld or in controlled flight. Many of the shots weren't even taken with the drone in the air. We handheld it, using slow, deliberate movements while leveraging the internal gimbal. This gave us a unique handheld aesthetic that still looked polished and cinematic. For the flight shots, we disabled the obstacle avoidance, switched to sport mode, and made slow, calculated stick inputs to glide around the bike with precision. We also used cruise control for perfectly steady passes and ActiveTrack to intelligently wrap around the subject in close quarters. It was both a creative and technical challenge, and that's what made it exciting. We got this bike in June 2024, and I have been documenting its journey since day one, from unboxing to riding and now to this custom wrap transformation. Before handing it over for detailing, we captured its raw factory look because every makeover needs a before. And this wasn't just a bike, this is the all-new BMW 1300 GS, the latest chapter in the legendary lineage that began over 4 decades ago. The GS stands for Geländestrasse, or off-road on-road in German, a name that's become iconic across continents. First introduced in 1980, the GS series was born in Berlin, Germany, and has since defined the global standard of adventure motorcycling. With its blend of long-distance touring ability, off-road resilience, and road presence, the GS quickly became the go-to for riders exploring the world, from the Alps to the Andes. The 1300 GS is the lightest, most powerful, and most advanced GS yet, with all-new frame, integrated electronics, and sharper lines. It's both a mechanical and visual evolution. This is how we told that story, with one drone, one small place, and one big idea. Before we dive into the drone modes and techniques we used, I want to take a moment to thank Kunal from Autocustoms, who played a big role in making this shoot happen. Kunal started Autocustoms in 2013, and over the past decade, it's grown into one of the most respected names in this business, specializing in color change wraps, custom print designs, paint protection films, ceramic coatings, and complete vehicle restoration. Not only did he wrap this beautiful BMW GS 1300, but he generously let us use his studio space for this experimental shoot. Here's a quick look at his work along with a few examples of some of the incredible bikes he's wrapped recently. If you would like to get in touch with Kunal or explore his work, I've added a link to his business details in the video description. And before we break down how we did it, here's a quick glimpse of what we were able to create using just a drone inside a 20 feet studio. And now, before we get into how we use tracking, here's a quick look at how we set up the camera. All these shots were captured in manual mode with custom ISO, shutter speed and white balance settings. We avoided auto mode deliberately to maintain consistency across clips and control exposure in the mixed lighting of the studio. You can see here on the controller screen, we dialed the exact parameters for each shot, matching the mood we wanted to create and ensuring no sudden exposure shifts during motion. Once that was set, we enabled ActiveTrack, DJI's intelligent subject tracking mode. We simply drew a box around the bike on the screen and the drone locked on instantly. Even in our tight 20x20 studio, it smoothly followed the contours of GS 1300, keeping it centered without jerky corrections or focus hunts. This gave us a lot of flexibility, allowing cinematic tracking shots without needing sliders, gimbals or a second operator. Here's a look at that workflow, first the controller screen, then the final footage, side by side. Once we had our tracking shots done, we moved on to something equally important: smooth, controlled movement. For this, we used cruise control feature, which allows the drone to lock into a motion path and maintain consistent speed without constant stick input. Once cruise control is active, it gives you the freedom to take your hands off the sticks, and that's where the creative flexibility begins. We use the gimbal tilt wheel on the controller to angle the camera up or down mid-flight, adding dynamic motion to an otherwise simple pass. This let us create parallax effects and low sweep shots around the bike, all while keeping the drone movement fluid and consistent. But not all shots were taken in there. In fact, some of our most stable and unique footage came from using the drone handheld. By holding the Mavic 4 Pro in our hands, powered on, gimbal activated, we were able to replicate gimbal-like shots with just slow, deliberate arm movements. It was just like using a 3-axis cinema camera, but one that could fly if needed. This hybrid approach, combining cruise control for smooth flight and handheld for precision, gave us a total creative freedom, all using just one tool. Another unique feature we used during this shoot was the infinite gimbal roll on the Mavic 4 Pro, something you won't find in most drones. This allows the camera to rotate 360 degrees on its roll axis, opening up creative angles like ditch tilts, rotational reveals and dramatic low to high passes. You can see here on the controller screen how easy it was to control the roll manually, giving us dynamic movement and add real cinematic flair to static subjects. While we used lot of automated features, but some of our favorite shots came from the pure manual control, using the stick slowly and precisely in sport mode. With obstacle avoidance turned off, we could safely maneuver within inches of the bike, adjusting speed and direction in real time to get those close, tight, controlled passes. This level of precision is what made it feel less like flying a drone and more like operating a cinema rig in mid-air. Looking back, this shoot was as much an experiment as it was a creative challenge. Trying to film an entire showcase using just one drone inside a 20-feet studio pushed us to think differently. From ActiveTrack to cruise control, from handheld gimbal moves to full manual flying, we almost explored every possibility the Mavic 4 Pro had to offer. And honestly, that's what made it exciting, blending technology, technique and storytelling in a way that forced us out of the usual playbook. If you enjoyed this kind of content and want to see more behind the scenes creativity, drop a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe. We've got more stories coming, both from the ground and from the sky.